Good evening, everyone. This is Kosala, also known as Marventus, bringing you the second semi-final of the Star2.org tournament. The second semi-final. If you missed the first one, you'll find it on my channel. But let's see if we can get on with this. Here in the top right-hand corner, we have Mr. ppgBubbles, Mr. Bubbles as the teal Protoss, and in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Mr. coLrsvp. I'm just gonna call him RSVP as the. Well, I was gonna say teal Protoss again there. Who do we have here? We're gonna call him the blue Protoss. I'm gonna call these guys the red Protoss, obviously. Why did I think they were gonna be teal? Oh yes, the teal colored blobs put me off there. That's how much I know about this. So RSVP in the bottom left-hand corner, and then we've got Bubbles in the top right-hand corner. Protoss versus Protoss action. Let's see how this goes. Let's get a production tab up. Unsurprisingly, we've got pylons and probes happening. Pylons and probes. I almost feel like day 9 here. Probes and pylons, boys and girls. Probes and pylons. Right, and here we are in this very, well, I was about to say odd matchup, but then again, since most of my casts, if you've been following my channel, are very Zerg intensive, it is rare to see these kind of matchups showing up on my casts, and the only reason they're doing it now is because I am actually a staff caster at GameReplays.org, and this is a tournament that is run by Game Replays. So I've decided to cast these games, and this is quite an unusual experience for me. Let's see how this goes. I'm looking forward to it, though. I don't see a whole lot of these mirror matchups at all. And I have no idea how this is going to go. As per my normal style, I have actually not seen this game ahead of time, so I do not know how this is going to go. We are about to find out. So probes and pylons being made, both of them making a gateway now at the 14 supply marker. For some odd reason, my FPS has just dropped to 1. I have no idea why. And now we're coming back up again. Yeah, we have gateways coming out for both players. Now let's see how the variation starts looking from this point onwards. We have the first assimilator going up for both players. I was just going to say that Bubbles was just slightly ahead there, but not slightly enough to make a difference. The build order exactly the same so far. So, assimilators going up for both. Gas, as we know, very important for Protoss players. Virtually every single unit that matters for them requires gas. They do get these early gases, or both gases actually, quite early in general. Both players saturating their gases immediately, as one would expect. And here we have the first scouting foray. We have RSVP coming to poke his head into Bubbles' corner here, to see what on earth is going on, and the question is, what is going on? Not a lot of anything. The first gateway now being done, pylons coming up right next to it, as indeed it should. Nothing overly dramatic going on at this stage, no cheesing, no attempts at weirdness, just fairly standard. We have both players popping out a cybernetics core, presumably to research warp gates, and so far both players just doing some very little scouting, seeing that they're each doing exactly the same thing. Nothing odd going on. Zealots coming out at virtually the exact same moment. Let's see what happens next. Is there going to be any excitement? Is there going to be a deviation, a variation? We do not know. A second gateway, but I was wrong. I'm going to blame the wine on that, because I've just had a huge amount of wine, along with some excellently cooked duck and vegetables, I'll tell you. Right, duck, vegetables and wine. Can't complain about that at all. Followed swiftly by dessert and Starcraft. This, my friends, is the good life. That's all there is to say about that. Cybernetics core now finishing up here for Bubbles. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we should have a cybernetics core already done for RSVP. Indeed we do. The first Zealot is out and about and running. We have warp gate research coming up now for Bubbles, along with the first Stalker. And the same scenario for RSVP, who is also flopping out his second gateway. So, let's see now. Does this mean he's one gateway ahead? It actually does. Chrono boosting out the warp gate research, but there is only one gateway here on the side of Bubbles, and 2 gateways about to be built for RSVP. This is interesting. Now, what did I miss here? Because clearly RSVP is slightly ahead on the gateway research, on the gateway building. Why is that? I have missed something. I'm not totally clear what it is. If somebody can come up with it, do let me know. There goes the second gateway. For Bubbles, he is now officially slightly behind because the third gateway is already going up for RSVP. Now somehow, somewhere, I managed to miss a build order switch. RSVP just managed to sneak ahead while I was busily talking about bread and butter puddings, wine, and duck. This is what happens when you take your eye off the ball, everyone. When you take your eye off the ball as a commentator, shit happens and you have no idea why, and this is exactly what's going on here. So Bubbles actually slightly behind now. Now the question is, what difference will that make? We have Stalkers defending against Stalkers, we have Zealots popping out to do some damage, but once again RSVP now slightly ahead because he's actually got slightly more units, just that one more unit that makes the difference. Bubbles making a rapid return to his base. What is this going to mean? We don't know for sure. Let's see. RSVP heading directly behind, giving chase, and then he's given up and headed back now. As indeed he should. He's not going to be doing much with those two Stalkers. We have a probe heading out all by his wee little self. Not really sure why. Is there a proxy pylon about to be set up somewhere? I can't imagine that would be the case, because why would he? There isn't enough units to make a push just yet. I was wrong. There is a proxy pylon going up right there in the middle of the map. Why would he put a proxy pylon there? Well, I guess that is close enough to the base, really. And now we have more of a foray coming in from Bubbles, with four Stalkers heading down to be met by 4 Stalkers from RSVP. How is this battle going to go? We're about to find out. Bubbles making a hasty retreat once again. Stalkers and Zealots versus just Stalkers. It seems to me that RSVP is just slightly ahead. He does have the bigger army. He's got a few more Stalkers and he's got Zealots against Bubbles. Complete lack of, well, more or less anything. No, I was wrong. He's got 4 Stalkers himself. He has a couple of sentries coming out. Another proxy pylon going down there in the front of his base. This looks dangerous. How's it there? There goes the force field, stopping a few of those Stalkers from coming up. Now he's actually being blocked by his probe and pylon there himself, working his way around. The AI pathing has now sorted itself out. The grouping is full. Zealous disappearing like nobody's business. How's this going to go? It looks as there's one Stalker going down there for RSVP, another Stalker going down for Bubbles. Bubbles looks like he's on a bit of a disadvantage here. It's a definite disadvantage. Stalkers disappearing here and there. Reinforcements coming in the form of Zealots from the proxy pylon. This looks like RSVP has gotten himself a bit of a lead. Is he going to stop to take down a gateway? No, he's not. He's continuing his pursuit of those Stalkers. What kind of mineral count does Bubbles have? He's only got 140 minerals. Enough gas. He can warp in a few more units. But is it going to be enough? There is a bit of an effort here going on from RSVP. He's trying to finish it up immediately right now. Proxy pylon in the right place. He is well ahead at this point. He's got the army he needs to sort this out. We have another Stalker warping in for Bubbles, but is it going to be too little too late? I feel that it might very well be. Do we have an imminent GG here? I'm thinking it could be. Bubbles has made a bit of a defense. He's got 4 units. He's heading out. He's got a Zealot. What is RSVP doing? He is he's returning to his proxy pylon, warping in a few more Zealots. Is it going to be enough? This is back and forth, everyone. Back and forth. Quite intense. At this point, I can't call a winner. They seem fairly even. They've got economy running fairly evenly. They're warping in units fairly evenly. Are these Zealots going to get in there close enough? No, the Stalkers are kiting them nicely. Warping in a few Stalkers of his own there, Bubbles. Bubbles is now inched ahead. He has now got the higher unit count. It looks like Bubbles has managed to save himself from this situation. Is he going to take down the proxy pylon? He certainly should. Yes, he's going for it. Is he going to be able to do it in time? RSVP looks like he's managed to warp in a few units, but is it going to be enough? No, he's now undergunned. Those Zealots are not going to be enough to do damage. RSVP Stalkers is going down along with his Zealots. There's the GG. Amazingly, RSVP has lost, and he's saying it himself. He cannot believe he lost that one, but congratulating his opponent nonetheless. Now this is where mirror matchups get interesting. For a moment I thought we were going to be in for a boring game, but boy was I wrong, because that was actually short but epic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The second game in the second semifinals from the Star2.org tournament is on its way in the next day or so. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you like, dislike, comment, and whatnot else that you YouTubers do. Looking forward to it. Have a good evening.